Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode of Canadian Winos. My name is Scott, this is Kelly, and I think Kelly's going to explain a little bit about what we're doing.
Hi, my name's Kelly. Welcome to Canadian Winos. Scott and I decided one day that we would take a drive down to Niagara in Southern Ontario and try out some different wines and see what we could find. We came up with the idea that we were going to become the Canadian Winos and we were going to try all the wines. May take us a little bit of time, but we're on our way. So that in a nutshell,
All the wines.
All of them. We're going to try all the wines.
So we've had the pleasure the last 20 years of spending lots of time down in Niagara. Beautiful area, it's nice and close, half hour, 45 minutes from us. And I think we've been around the world a little bit and seen some great wineries, but Niagara is such an up and coming place, and I think in the 20 years that we've been going there, it's easily doubled or tripled the amount of wineries that are down there, and some incredible wines are to be found. But most people, we believe, that live in Ontario don't always get a chance to taste the best that's down there. As we've learned, a lot of the wineries down there never end up getting their wines into the LCBO, whether it's their choice or the LCBO. I think we've learned over time doesn't always put in some of the great Ontario wines. And not to say, being the Canadian Winos, there's not great wines from BC and some other provinces. And maybe when COVID and everything eases up, we'll have a chance to get everywhere and try even more.
We can travel again.
But we were in the car that day, and there we are without haircuts and looking like a disaster, and thinking we would head down there and try some wine. I think wino is probably the fitting term for
Me?
Maybe we'll change the theory and the thought on the word winos as we get to some more episodes. So we stopped into, that was our first day down. We've been down a few times, and we'll have an episode for each sort of expedition we made our way down there. But we found 3 pretty cool wineries when we were down there.
Yes.
I'm going to start with the one we visited second, because that's where we picked up the white wines from.
You gotta drink them while they're cold.
And we're going to drink them while they're cold. So what do you think? Between the Lines we found in the middle of Niagara-on-the-Lake.
That was a great place. So just to clarify, we went down during COVID. We were right in the middle of COVID. So not everything was really up and open and going at the time. So when we got down there, actually this particular one of the owners came in out of the field and started talking to us, which was great because, so you get that owner experience.
And they mentioned they had just purchased it from their parents, I guess, in the last few years.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty old vineyard. And the 2 brothers have taken it on. We bought a bottle of their Pinot Noir, but right on the bottle it says do not drink until 2022, so we're going to do our best not to open that. But what was interesting from Between the Lines, which is right in the middle of Niagara-on-the-Lake, south of the main downtown core, down somewhat towards St. David's, they were canning wine, so I think that's what we're going to try first. They did a sparkling, and they did a Pinot Grigio, which will save a really funny story for another episode. We thought it was interesting. They were canning wines, and the reason behind it was some people, not us necessarily, they might open a bottle and just want one glass for the afternoon or evening or such.
Who does that?
So they thought
Maybe on
they
your
would.
second bottle.
They thought they would can wines, and that way you can just take one out of the fridge while you're vacationing, while you're at home, you're in the backyard, and open your can and away you go. Though they told us a story about why they didn't do red wines in a can. Do you remember that?
I do. You should tell it though.
So she doesn't remember the story about wine. They didn't put red wine in a can because it's so easy to guzzle. It's like having a can of Coke and you go through it in a few seconds, or grape juice or something along those lines.
Right.
Red is so much easier to
knock it back,
as opposed to sipping sparkling wine or Pinot.
More refined.
Pinot Grigio, more refined. All right, so our first can that we bought in Niagara-on-the-Lake was their sparkling. So they told us, cheers.
Cheers, eh?
Cheers, eh? So they told us this was a, I think it's something like,
This
we got notes on here. 10% alcohol, sparkling wine. Smells like sparkling wine. And on Southern Ontario, Niagara is so well known for incredible sparkling wines. But as we learned from another vineyard, sparkling wine sales have been devastated through Corona. Because nobody's celebrating. There's no weddings. There's no groups getting together. Go for it. You can just jump into that. I'll tell the story. There's nobody celebrating anything, which is understandable. There's not big groups of people celebrating 50th wedding anniversaries. Is it good?
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
There's not people getting together for big birthday parties. And weddings, where sparkling wines or champagnes are probably most sold. I'm sure Champagne in France is having a huge issue. But Niagara said their sparkling wine sales have been devastated. So buy it by the can, that way you don't have to throw a big party anyway. So let's try this.
It's really good, actually. It's sparkling. It's pretty. It's sweet. It's sweet, but not too sweet. It's pretty crisp for a sweeter wine.
It's not like a Spumante Bambino with.
No.
It goes good with sour keys and.
Yeah.
This is really good. This is actually
you know what?
really
It's
good.
actually really good. I mean, considering the fact that we cracked open a can to get it. Yeah, no, I like it. It's crisp. It's not too sweet.
So afternoon on the dock at the cottage with some crackers or something.
Celebrating a Tuesday.
There you go.
You can celebrate it.
It's a really cool winery, Between the Lines. They, I've got the address here somewhere. They are on.
It'll be at the bottom of your screen.
They'll be at the bottom of the screen, which means I'm going to have to edit this. Thanks, Kelly. They're on Mile Creek Road in Line 5 down in Niagara-on-the-Lake. Two brothers. Noah was the oldest because they called it Pinot Noah as opposed to Pinot Noir. We didn't get the other brother's name, the one that we met. So there's Noah and
really
the other
friendly.
brother. Very friendly and a great place. So make sure. And now that we're into June, we're into July.
Yeah,
actually.
we're July. Happy Canada Day.
We were there in June. They were just getting things reopened after being completely shut down. Phase 2 allowed them to open up and do tastings. So make sure you make your way down there and try some cans. So the second can we'll try from there, which seems to be Kelly's favorite wine this summer somehow.
I like it. It's crisp and.
Have you drank that yet?
I have
don't know.
not.
But other Pinot Grigios.
Oh, yes, I have drank other Pinot Grigios this summer. Thanks, friends. I have a friend that likes Pinot Grigio.
So we ended up in a predicament like many of you when COVID started. How many stores are we going to shop and wash your groceries and everything else that you bring into the door in the house? So Longo's not having a massive selection of, a great selection of wines, reasonably priced for those shopping for grocers that might not be wine experts or connoisseurs. A whole lot of Pinot Grigio over there.
Oh yeah, it's like 10 or 12 different kinds. And they're fairly reasonably priced at anywhere from like, I don't know, maybe $11 to $15 or something.
Pinot Grigio get as high as $15?
It does. It was good.
Well, it had the bumblebee on it.
That's right. We'll get to that one. A couple episodes.
All right, a couple episodes. We'll review the wines of Longo's maybe for an episode.
But this particular wine came out of the can. Look, came out of the can.
I'm even more impressed. It has a VQA logo on it, which not many canned wines maybe over the years have. So they do, which is fantastic. So again, Between the Lines, Pinot Grigio. I'm not a Pinot Grigio fan. This could be the world's greatest Pinot Grigio.
You know what? I like it. I like it. You know what? It's nice in a nice hot day like today. We're having a heat wave. It's a good wine for a nice hot day.
It's sour.
This particular one is a little sour.
I feel like I just drank the can.
It's probably the sour case we
Tinny.
ate.
Could be the sour case we ate. Anyway, not a Pinot Grigio fan. Kelly seemed to become a connoisseur this summer.
You know what? It's not bad. I like
What
it.
does it smell
It's
like?
kind of see, I don't like sweet wines, like really, really sweet wines. So, it's a little bit crisper. Like it's still pretty sweet, but it's crisper. It has a lot of Pinot Grigios that I've tried. I think it tastes like grapefruits. Like it's got that citrusy crisp.
This doesn't have a lot of flavor. I don't know how much it was a can, to tell you the truth. We grabbed our 4-pack and headed out of there with our nice bottle of Pinot Grigio.
I drink it.
Pinot Noir, not Pinot Grigio. All right, let's move on. So
It's a Pinot Grigio, right?
it's a Pinot Grigio. Anyway, we're going to, in a future episode, we will try the Pinot Noir out of Between the Lines. See how that goes. And anyway, if you're looking for no, they said maybe their cans were in the LCBO. I can't remember.
Yes, their cans were in the LCBO, but I don't think any of their bottles were. They were open that day, and I think they still are, even if they're not doing tastings, for retail pickup.
Cool.
Yeah.
So again, our show, we're encouraging you this summer. So many resorts in Ontario are closed.
Right.
So for the you're not crossing the border in the U.S. and it's gonna be a while, I think, before anybody makes their way into France to go try wines.
Right.
This is all about getting your way to, and if you're from BC, get yourself to Kelowna, and if you're from Ontario, so many great, I cannot believe that there's even, Pelee Island's always been known for wine, it's been great, Prince Edward County wineries open up. We're great because we're kind of in the middle of everything here in Mississauga, And Niagara is a half hour to 45-minute drive, depending whether you're going to Beamsville. Or
If I'm driving or he's driving.
Well, that's another story. Not at Niagara-on-the-Lake to Beamsville. We're half hour, 45 minutes. So we're encouraging you, get out, go to your local wineries and try some things. Next wine we're trying was actually our last stop that day, but it's a rosé, so we're kind of making our way to a big red. We're not rosé drinkers, but...
That was the Royal We. I'll drink it.
Two Sisters in Niagara-on-the-Lake, who probably has one of the most incredible facilities, I think, in Niagara-on-the-Lake. They spent a fortune, obviously, building this incredible Italian architecture building there. Construction family from Woodbridge, I think, are behind the Two Sisters and their family.
I think so.
They recommended their rosé, their staff member anyway. I think it was kind of a difficult day. That was one of their first days opening up after the pandemic and things.
The restaurant was not open, but I believe it would be open now because there was a big patio at the back. It wasn't open at the time, sorry. I interrupt a lot.
No, I want you to interrupt me. I'll just re-ember on.
Wow, we got that on tape. You want me to interrupt you. Perfect.
So, patio, the restaurant's got huge reviews, so we know that the food's going to be great. We may have hit the staff on an off day. We didn't really have a great experience inside Two Sisters. And they said their winemaker is raving about their rosé currently. So we're not rosé drinkers, but
is this this year?
When
rosé?
in Rome, sorry?
Is it a previous year rosé?
It is whatever they had available. It's a 2018. They call it the Margaux.
Perfect.
Rosé goes awesome with Greek food, as we have learned over the years.
Good.
Does it smell good?
Yeah, a little bit.
We have a favorite rosé. It's from Italy. It was called Punta Lice from Senatore. And it was like drinking cotton candy. It was like the perfect. Remember that?
Yeah, that was good.
Huge, like Vin France, Vin Italy awards. They did awesome. Senatore family's incredible. How's this? It's a newer winery. I don't think Two Sisters been open for a while.
You know what? It's nice. I like it.
It smells good.
Yeah, it smells good. A little flat at the end, but it could be that it's not quite cold enough. But I don't know. I like the beginning. I like the middle. A little flat at the end. You know what I mean? It was pretty good. It's alright. It doesn't have that cotton candy, but...
It tastes like Riesling. There's a little bit of gasoline to it, kind of.
Don't ruin my wine.
I won't ruin wine, but...
He ruins the wine all the time. It tastes like gasoline. I'm thinking, wow, thank you for that. Now it does. Yes, very much tastes like gasoline.
So we are huge fans. Cabernet Sauv. We don't drink a lot of Merlot. Pinot Noir once in a while. But we are big California cab drinkers. Ontario's not known for big, boldy cabs.
Boldy
cabs. So rosé wouldn't be our first selection. So I think what we need to do next time we're down there, we'll do a lunch in the patio.
Yeah.
Two Sisters. And they do have a cab. Probably one of the most expensive cabs I've seen in Ontario, around $60. We know awesome cabs out of California, 100, 200 and more. Cake Breads and Camus is 100, 120. But $60, I think is how much the Two Sisters cab was. So we'll pick it up. Yeah. We'll review it next time we're doing some cabs.
We're going to try all the wines.
We're going to try all the wines.
All of them.
Anyway, Two Sisters. Not the greatest rosé, but we're not big rosé fans. We thought we'd give it a try because they recommended it.
It's alright. I think it was a little colder. I think it's been out a little too long, but I think it was a little colder.
Just took it out of the fridge. Anyway. So that was a Two Sisters, 13% alcohol. They're on John Street, Niagara-on-the-Lake. They're right by the downtown area. You could probably walk from Prince of Wales Hotel or Queen's Landing over to there. Another thing we need to do with the show is our summer carries on and we drive down there every week. We need to stay overnight down there. Bring the whole food's good, wine's good, make sure you stay at this hotel kind of thing.
You know what that was? I figured it out early. I drive down and he drives back. We switch at the first winery. Call that winning right there.
Yes, don't drink and drive while you're down there. And Uber if you have to. Okay, last one of the day.
Last one.
This, by far, we've been in some great buildings over the years of wineries. Chateau de Charmes is beautiful. Megalomaniacs, a little wild and bold of a building. Two Sisters was beautiful. I was blown away by Colaneri. They're not finished, still a little bit under renovations. I think it's about 10 years old of a building. They've got a fountain to finish in the other half of the building, and I don't know if they, again, COVID, first masks, and everybody kind of concerned about having people inside
They're pretty nice,
store.
Though. They're pretty, they rolled with it. I think we were probably their first or second customer in the store, like physically in the store, that wasn't doing curbside pickup. So
right, because
they hadn't had. I don't think they'd had. So they hadn't sort of ironed it all out.
Right.
Because she kept walking towards us, and then she was like, "Oh, wait a second."
So if all of you have been to Vegas, you know what it's like the first time you land there and you see the big hotels and you're like, wow, this is incredible. Everybody's eyes are like saucers. That's how I was at Colaneri. I did not know in Niagara, we've been down there how many times,
Had no
that this
idea.
building was down there right by Chateau de Charmes, and it looks like a massive Italian villa. I was impressed. And the lady that worked there said at some point they will finish it off, whether it's turning into a restaurant, a B&B, a great wedding place. If we ever get remarried, I think it's a great spot for a wedding or anybody getting married. The grounds are spectacular. The vineyard, lots of huge long driveway getting into there.
Yeah, it's really pretty. It's really pretty, and their retail showroom was really interesting because the way it's set up, there was part of it that was all blocked off because they only wanted you just to be able to walk around and look at the wine bottles that were right there.
Mm-hmm.
But all the way along the one wall was like a half wall, and it overlooked their production facility. So they said they didn't really do tours of their facility, but you could walk along and you could literally watch all of the different stages that the wine was going to go through, like overlooking it, which was really interesting. That was a really interesting part of that winery for me.
Vineland was like that as well. We could walk past the shopping area, the gift shop, and
Right.
there's some exposure into.
Yeah, this was
production. This was huge.
the entire length of the whole building. That's sort of how they set it up. Was the retail side of things was sort of like a half wall, and it overlooked like the whole length of the building overlooked their production facilities and all the things. So it was really interesting, and they were in full production because of course they've got the curbside pickup and things still have to move along.
Yeah. Alcohol sales, they said worldwide was up 26% so far through.
Oh.
Probably gone up even higher by now. Anyway, cool story about this winery.
We're not ready yet. Okay.
No, we're not. Go ahead. Two brothers married two sisters, and that's how the entire vineyard got started. Pretty interesting. So this is what they're known for, very much like Foreign Affair Winery. How Valpolicella becomes Amarone in Italy. They dry the grapes and go through a ripasso method. And there's multiple ways of saying it. I've got a feeling this is going to be really good. So grapes are dried. Grapes are dried. I've had 3 sips of wine. Grapes are dried prior to fermenting. And that's how they get. So you usually end up with a higher density of alcohol. 14.5 is what this is at. So this is the Colaneri. You know what? They've got some interesting names for it all. She told you something with the labels too.
Yeah, she said that I think it's each family member has a label or designs a label or helps design a label. So I actually took a picture, which we'll show you at some point or another, of like a whole bunch of the wines with all the different labels, which was really interesting as well. So actually, I really like this wine. It's really good.
So they said it's Cab Franc, Cab Sauv, grapes into it. Again, they dry the grapes before fermenting. So it should be big and bold like an Amarone. So how do you find that so far?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, eh?
Cheers, eh?
Cheers, eh?
That is really good.
Yeah, I like that.
Pizza, pasta, something heavy for dinner. Wintertime, kind of.
It's like 38 degrees with the humidex out there, so that's not what we're having.
That's like
tonight.
120 American. No. 110. Anyway, yeah, Colaneri, really cool place. You have to go there just to visit the building. I think it's pretty spectacular.
It's pretty cool.
So that's the start of Canadian Winos. We obviously have gone and had, of course you have to have t-shirts made when you're going to figure something out.
Of course you do.
So maybe someday, the website's kind of in production.
In production, getting there. All of our socials at least up. Go give us a like. Links
Where?
below.
Facebook.
Twitter, and Instagram. Canadian Winos.
Canadian Winos what? Oh, we go .ca and .com, so we'll build it on one of them.
Or like the social we were just talking about. It's facebook.com/Canadian Winos.
Yeah. You can go
All
that
of
way
our
too.
handles.
What else do we want to tell them? Yeah, so get out to your local
If you see us, come and say
vineyard.
hi.
Right. And if you're a winery and you want us to come visit, send us a hey, we'd love to see you. So one of our challenges this summer, we didn't have any here. Ontario, BC, you're completely different. You got some great reds out there. It's hard to find really good reds in Ontario. Some great Pinot Noirs, Tawes. We had one the other week.
This one's pretty good.
In Beamsville as well. This is really great for red. We are going looking for the best Chardonnay in Ontario this summer. I think is going to be what our little... We've had some awesome Chardonnays so far in Ontario. So that will be our goal. So next episode, number 2, I think we have 3, 4. Heck no, we got 6 Chardonnays.
Winning.
We did the whole Beamsville route. Believe me, some people opened their front door 2 inches and said, are you here for pickup? So COVID totally... We weren't into phase 2 at that point. But I think we've got 5 or 6 Chardonnays to try for our second episode. But we want your favorite Chardonnay. So message us. I think we have emails up and running, don't we?
We should, yep.
I'll stick it at the bottom when I edit the video. I'll stick it at the bottom. Send us an email. We want to know your favorite winery, and we also want to know your favorite Chardonnay, whether it's Ontario, BC, or any of the others. Anyway, did you have fun?
I definitely had fun.
You're drinking wine. We need food or something, I guess, to go along with this whole thing.
Wow.
No?
I'll get right on that.
All right, I'll have to edit the video.
Put some crackers out.
Anyway, everybody, thank you for watching. Don't drink and drive. What else should we tell them?
If you see us, come and say hi.
If you see us, come and say hi. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thanks.
Have a great day.